after months and months of preparing, I finally put together my PC, and it works. This video will be going over how the build journey worked, how troubleshooting was fun, and my entire setup as a whole. I started building this PC in September. I started buying parts in July. It is December. This video has been in the works for about half the year. However, I am now ready to make it. Without further ado, let's go. I'm going to take you back to where this all started. This beautiful piece of equipment was on sale for a crazy amount, and I wasn't going to miss out on it. This is the CPU. More specifically, this is the Ryzen 7 5800X. I am building this PC on a college student budget, so naturally I'm trying to save money anywhere I can. And around Father's Day, the CPU was on sale for about $175, and that's what I purchased it at, because $450 is a lot of money that I would not have had. Once I got the CPU, I was pretty much ready to get to work and start getting the rest of my parts together. I started putting together a spending plan that would help me and benefit me more to get the parts in a reasonable time frame. So what I did was I focus on the more expensive parts towards the beginning, so that once I got to the less expensive parts, it would be easier for me to afford them and purchase them in a reasonable manner. The next expensive part was the GPU, which is basically a computer in itself just for the graphics. It's a processor just for the visuals you see alone. And those are a lot of money. My GPU of choice was the Radeon RX 7600 XT from AMD. The crazy thing about GPUs is that yes, you can get them from the original manufacturer, in this case being AMD, but you could also get that same GPU from other companies just with minor tweaks and other things to make them look better against the competition. The important part is this part. I still wanted to stay within a budget within the constraints of what a typical GPU costs. This was on sale. $320 was the sale price. And even with that daunting number, I was still doing pretty good for my budget. Going in, I reasoned that around $2,000 would be a decent amount to buffer between buying parts in case I had to do them at full price and getting eventual repairs in case some of those parts were faulty, which will be important later. But once I got past the two more expensive parts, everything else came a lot faster, that being the CPU fan, the case, and the power supply. Shortly after that, I got 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, and after Hurricane Francine, a motherboard. Quick side note on the motherboard purchase, I got it off of Mercari, which is like a buy sell trade site, and I found the motherboard for a lot cheaper, but it was shipping from Texas around the same time that Hurricane Francine was hitting, so it delayed shipping and everything for a while, but I was able to get it still within a week, which was nice. Oh yeah, and my keyboard, the Razer Sonoza version 2, was also from Mercari. And with that, here's our first check-in on the price. See, to this point, I had only spent $820, which for my $2,000 budget, I was doing exceedingly well. While I know my way around a computer generally, like I know the parts in it, I still needed help putting it together because this was my first time building my own computer after all. I asked my friend JordonAM to help me, and the rest of my friends in the Discord tagged along too. Pins on the
And there's a
SSD chain.
wait, is that 4 pins? Is that a Molex or is that
No, the Molex one is right here. There's another one on this end
what
that's
the
got
fuck is that?
four.
Or
Yeah.
what are you plugging in now? Or what are
Different
you
way it's supposed
attempting
to
to
go on
plug
the
in?
motherboard though, because there's no more pins. No? Oh. But that's RGB though. That's not.
Yeah, I don't think you got to worry about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
not
thought
every
so.
not every
Sorry.
cable on the PSU is used.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
them
okay.
bitches.
The game mode shit don't turn on.
Bro, don't speak that into existence.
Hey, you can blame it on Jordan if it don't.
That's crazy.
I mean, if you really hate a nigga enough, you could just drop a fucking magnet inside the APC and walk off.
Oh,
That's hell.
Now you would think after it runs for the first time, no issues starting up, no nothing, everything's inserted like it's supposed to, you would think that that would be the end of it, right? No, because that's not how things work around here. For about the next 5 minutes or so, you're going to understand how bad my luck can really get. Hey Jordan, quick hypothetical. How do you know if your PSU is dead? Not even 2 weeks after I finished building my PC, my power supply in my computer died. To understand the severity of this situation, worst case scenario, I'm looking at replacing the entire computer because it died while I was asleep and it was still plugged into the wall. So best case scenario, I was looking at only replacing the PSU, which is $60. And thankfully, that's all that happened. Luckily, I was within the return window, so I was able to get a full refund for it from Micro Center. And with that money, I just bought a new power supply, and I also got a new monitor with it as well. Okay, the screen finally works. This is Asus screen. Asus Tough Series. That's the new screen. And this is the power supply I got that's brand new, which is basically like a newer version of the one I had before. But oh my god, this was a journey and it all worked. Let's fucking go. Famous last words. While this isn't technically the fault of the computer itself, the room that I'm staying in has no working Ethernet, so even if I connected my cable into the port, it wasn't going to give me a solid and consistent internet, so I had to get something to fix that too because I'm still in school and I gotta do homework. Of course, with me being in a time crunch, I settled for something cheap, inexpensive, and reliable. This is a Wi-Fi card with Bluetooth enabled by Gigabyte and Aorus. To install it, I had to take a lot of conflicting parts away, like the GPU, because that is the one part that I do not want to break. It is so expensive. And come on, look at how beautiful this thing is. Yeah, you should always be careful when reinstalling and uninstalling parts and whatnot, but I was especially nervous and anxious about making sure that the GPU was fine because I was like, please don't let it be the GPU that's the problem. Because if that was the case, I don't know if I would have been able to recover financially or emotionally. It's currently like 3 in the morning. Just, you know, using my computer as usual. The motherboard seems to be the problem now with, because my display and my keyboard keeps cutting out. And that's both USB plugged in, so now I probably have to look at getting a new motherboard after I just got a new PSU. What can you do, right? Yeah, what the hell can you do when your PC just goes black out of nowhere in the middle of you using it? With the motherboard being the thing that communicates with the rest of the parts in the PC, I don't have a computer without that. So I had to fix that immediately. Introducing the B550A Pro from MSI. And since I had a little bit more cash at this point, the Kingston 1TB NVMe, which is basically another set of storage that transfers things easier and makes storage capabilities more efficient. Once I took everything out of my computer again, I got quickly to work to putting it back together so I could test to see if it was gonna work again. At this point, this was my 3rd time taking apart and putting my PC back together, so the training wheels were off at this point. After triple checking to make sure the motherboard was working with all the other parts in the device, I was pretty happy and was ready to give a rest because I finally have a working computer. Hold on. There we go. I couldn't reach the power button, but yeah, there it goes. The power button no longer worked, so I had to buy a new case. Finally, after buying a new case, I was done buying parts for a while. So here is my grand total for my PC. It's worth $1,715, but I only spent $1,196, which means I saved about $500, which is awesome. My microphone and my webcam were gifts, and those gifts were given to me by my friend River, which I heavily appreciate him for. And major shout out to JordonAM, because I would not be able to build or troubleshoot any of this without him. Their link is in my description. Go check them out. As for the parts that don't work, I'll be selling them for completely reasonable prices.
That was my PC video. For this, gaming, and anything else I decide to record, make sure to subscribe. Everything I put in this video will be in the link below, but until the next video, I'll see you guys next time.
This is the oh my god, this